This is UMAR for IFL TV in association with MTK Global. Via Zoom, I'm joined by trainer, manager, analyst Dave Coldwell. You were saying just before we start recording, you've been in the gym a couple of weeks now with Hopi, Jordan, and your latest signing. Must just feel good, Dave.
Yeah, it's good to be back. It's good to be back doing what I've been used to doing for years and normality. Do you know what I mean? We're quite lucky that we're back to doing things semi-normal. And got fight dates and we can prepare and get his minds on the job properly. So we're in a good position. I know there's plenty of other people that aren't in that position. Plenty of boxers and people that live day-to-day lives in normal jobs. They can't get back to work yet. It's tough times for everybody, but we feel lucky that we can at least feel a little bit normal now.
Dave, before we carry on, can I get you to go landscape rather than portrait? Is that all right?
Yeah. So
that's better, much better. Perfect. So yeah, Jordan's in a very good fight on August 1st, and obviously you got Hopi out on the 7th. We'll talk about it in due course and your latest signing, but I've got to start with the main talking point in boxing at the moment. Unfortunately, reported lead from Mike Coppinger, Jarrell Miller failed another drugs test. Your thoughts, Dave?
Mate, when I saw it, I was shocked. Listen, you can't really be shocked nowadays, but that shocked me, because I just feel he was given a chance, an undeserved chance. He was given a chance to come straight back. No bans really. I mean, he didn't have a license for a few months, but he was never really officially banned. Didn't really get a real punishment. And he was given this opportunity to come back. You've got Bob Arum, Top Rank, that wanted to work with him and, get him back up there. And he just took the piss, And I watched an interview today with him. I don't know the guy's name that interviewed him, but he was really, really good.
Fantastic. Yeah, first time.
It really was, yeah. First time I've seen him, and I thought he was brilliant. It wasn't aggressively pursuing him, or it wasn't like a witch hunt or anything like that. He was asking on the point questions. He was putting him on the microscope, and he wasn't allowing him to, when he's giving because he's a very good talker, is Miller, and when he was, feeding his bullshit, the guy wasn't taking it. I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed because I met Miller out in Chicago when Gav McDonald fought for the world title out there, and I came away thinking, what a nice guy. He really surprised me. He was a really nice guy. But then you hear things about him. In the with what was going off with the Joshua fight, and then obviously failed 3 tests, not 1, not 2, but 3. And then you think, wow. And then, like I said, for him to have another chance and to come back and then fail another test, then it was like, even when he was talking that interview, he was talking like he's not jabbing the bum sort of thing, and it was kind of making light of it, what he did last time, but yeah, it's disappointing, mate. It's disappointing. But the flip side is, the fortunate thing is he's been caught. It's another fight that has been caught, and there's a lot of fighters that are doing it that haven't been caught yet. And all we can moan and bitch and everything, but nothing's happening, and there's no stern punishments being dealt out there. So fighters are going to continue to keep pushing the luck and cheating because they feel as though it's worth the risk. If they get caught, they get a few months ban. It's not like if they break a hand or have a bit of an injury or a fight falls through or you get COVID. So they feel that the risk is worth it. Until that changes, and until authorities get their heads together and start dishing out serious bans and putting some sort of structure into place with what you're failing on and things, and until promoters and TV networks don't put these fighters on their shows, then it's going to continue to happen, and they'll get these like bans. They'll come back. They'll be eligible to fight. Because if a fighter's eligible to fight and he's a big name and he's a box office, then an opponent will take a fight with him because they know they're going to get paid well because he's a big name. Because, you know, he's a marketable fighter. So then, as an opponent, they're in the business to make money. So it's hard to say to a boxer out there, you know, for instance, Miller coming off for a ban. Well, you shouldn't box him because he's cheated. You know, he's this and it's, you get that, yep, 100%. But he's licensed. He's going to be given a ranking or whatever. He's a big name, and you're going to get paid well. So this fighter opponent who could be an opponent against somebody else, get paid half the money and get beat, goes in against somebody like a Miller, you know, because he thinks he's going to get paid really well. And if he were to beat him, then he jumps up the pecking order. His profile's up there. So while ever they're getting relicensed, then fighters will fight him, you know. And that's how it's going to work. But it's down to promoters. It's down to TV networks. If a TV network turned around and said, "Okay, this guy's been done for PEDs twice. We're not putting him on our shows anymore." Do you really think the promoter's going to put him on his bill? He's not going to fuck, because there's no end game, because it's a business for promoters. They're investing in fighters, so they don't mind losing money in the short term for the long term game to build him up into a marketable fighter or whatever. But if the TV networks aren't going to put him on the shows anymore, then you're never going to get that end game from a promoter's point of view. So they'll stop using him, and so you know it could be stopped. You know, if the TV networks stop there.
Yeah, you make a good point there. But after the Anthony Joshua stuff, it was kind of the opposite. Obviously, Jarrell Miller signed with ESPN and Bob Arum, arguably the biggest promoter in the world and the biggest TV network in the world. So you kind of got rewarded for it.
Yeah, because Miller's a big, he's not a big talent or anything like that, but he's a big character. He speaks really well. He runs with the controversy really, really well. And so because he brings clickbait, because he brings eyes on the screen because of who he is and his character, you know, it's promoters, it's a business. It is a business. And so therefore ESPN, Bob Arum have thought, well, all right, let's give him another chance. And we'll make some money out of him. You know, we'll get him in there. He's a big name. We can get him a couple of fights and get him a title shot. You know, get him in some big fights. And they've looked at that, and the stupid fool has kind of like pissed on that opportunity he's had, and got done. So you know, it is what it is. I've got no confidence in the system anymore. I've got no confidence in the punishments. That's the problem for me. Is, you know, it's one thing when people are saying, "Oh yeah, but the amount that was in it was same as what you can have in meat and all that," and you look at it, "Oh, that's bullshit." But there is an argument there, and you can say, "Well, it might have." Do you know what I mean? So that's how they're getting away with it. But that needs clarifying. That needs sorting, because it's leaving that trapdoor open for them to get away with it. And so they do. But when it's PEDs that, you know, like what happened with Miller before, it's needles. It's involving needles. It's involving injecting it into you. When it's stuff like that, there is absolutely no excuse. There is no excuse. So that, for me, boom, gone. That's it. You know, that's not accidentally. I sat down on a needle. You know, it's none of that sort of shit. And then now he's come out, and I saw in this interview said it's not an injectable. It's something that is taken unknowingly. But I believe it is a weight cut. I'm not sure what I'm just going off this interview that I saw. I think it is a weight cut. It gives, you know, more energy, allows him to train harder, blah blah blah. The kind of things that a guy that's massive and overweight and fat needs. You know, you look at me and think, how does he keep throwing all them punches? A guy like that, Oh, there you go.
This is a hard issue to solve, though, because you mentioned it there. You know, someone like Canelo, where the clenbuterol levels were slightly what? So do you give him a lifetime ban for that? I mean, that would be pretty harsh, because that could have been a mistake. Do you know what I mean, with Canelo?
It's so for me, it's if you know that Mexican meat contains that substance in it, if you know that that's how they're being, the animals are being fed and they're being injected through this sort of stuff, blah blah, so you know there could be traces of that, right? Then for me, when you are somebody of Canelo's stature and some, you know, you've got them that sort of money to get the best dietitians, nutritionists, source the best food, things like that, just don't get Mexican meat. You know, I get meat that isn't gonna put yourself in that sort of position. There's lots of meat that doesn't put you in that position because they're not tracked with that. So I would think, oh, but like you say, it leaves that window, because you can say, well, look, it is a fact. It's in Mexican meat. We get Mexican meat. Fair enough. All right. So they allow it to go on, and I think it happened with two WBC champions. One was Martinez, wasn't it? Yeah, Martinez, and somebody else. And they just allowed him to go on. And so you look at that and think, oh, that doesn't count. That's not being classed as cheating, because that's a built-in excuse. Something needs to be set. It needs to be set. So maybe you have to treat maybe a bit harsh, maybe something that you can't manage. But just like we're not allowed to take product X because we know it's got a banned substance in it, so we can't touch that, stay away from that. Well, maybe for fighters, if you want to pass a drugs test, don't eat Mexican meat. You know, a Lemsip or whatever we can't take without signing and without declaring it. So I won't let my fighter take a Lemsip, right? Because I don't want to get because of the banned substance, and I don't get. So don't touch a Lemsip. So I know that there's a chance of failing a drug test through Mexican meat. Don't eat Mexican meat. You know, and if you can say, oh well, they're from Mexico, they're gonna eat Mexican meat. Well, I get that, but if it's on a banned list, it's on a banned list. You can't then tailor it as, oh well, because then how do you not know that they are taking, because they know that they're going to get away with it? You can't do that. So I think some sort of structure needs to be put in place, maybe a tiered system of stimulants, then your PEDs, and then your injectable PEDs. 3 layers, 3 tiers. Ban level A, ban level B, ban level C. Depending on what it is. Putting some sort of structure in place, because it's all cloak and dagger. It's all, depends. Oh, well, this guy. So Liam Cameron gets done for 4 years or something like that for doing coke. Now, I'm not. Listen, for me, that's not my bag. But there's so many people out there that are doing coke, right? And I'm not sure. Again, I don't really know what reports about it, but I'm not sure. But the amount of coke that they found in the system was a trace. That's what I heard. I don't know if it's right or not. And one, if he does it, he does it. That's his own business, right? But you can't put coke where, say for instance, if the amount of trace that you've got of coke, you can get off accounting money. When you're selling tickets, you are handling money. So if you're talking about that trace, and that's what I got told. I don't know if it's true or not, but I got told the amount of coke that was found in the system was literally what you could get off when you're counting your money and people lick their fingers and stuff like that. That's the kind of trace that was in his system. He got 4 years for that. Even if it was stacked to coke, right? 4 years for coke, a couple of months for injectable PEDs, for serious PEDs, a few months. Where's the balance in that? And this is the problem. There's no consistency. So we're not being taken seriously by fans. It's not being taken seriously by, when somebody gets caught, it's like, oh, all right. It's kind of like you're kind of getting numb to it, because you're not expecting a heavy punishment.
That's dangerous, though. Dangerous world we live in, Dad.
It is, and we've said it so many times before that sooner or later a fighter is going to get injured. The other guy that put him in that state is going to fail a drug test, and then the shit is going to hit the fan, and then boxing is going to get fucked. And that's unless they put something into place. And listen, I'm not saying that I've got the answers. I haven't got the answers, but there are people that run our sport at all different levels, right? Be it governing bodies, belts, world organizations, anti-doping controls, right? Them sort of guys can get their heads together, sit themselves around a table, and thrash out some sort of system, and something else that needs doing is also for me is we're always behind the Chiefs. I'm talking about the top end guys, the ones that are earning millions and millions that can afford to have these pharmacist guys on their camps and stuff like that. They know their shit. They're in front and creating and making available to certain fighters and athletes, not just boxers but athletes. They're in front where they're looking for the newest drug, the newest PED that isn't even on a ban list yet. So they're taking it. It's not on a ban list. So they're taking it. They're not getting tested for it. So there you go, crack on. And that is our problem, is when you get to the elite level of sport, any sport, that is the problem, is because those sort of guys are so far in front of the testers. The guys that are trying to chase and catch, we're always chasing and catching. They're chasing because those guys are in front. And that's where we've got a massive problem. And I don't know what the answer is to that, because science and technologies, when you've got so much money and so much finance behind you, and you've got those kind of people that are working with you, they're always in front. They're inventing something. It's like in anything, whatever it is, whether it's computer games, whether it's cars, whatever. They bring out a brand new model. While that model's being released, they're working on something better. They're working on the next step. And it's the same thing with PEDs and things like that. And that's the scary thing, really.
Well, yeah, we'll move on from this. But ultimately, what I will say is, what is the point of having testing agencies if nothing's going to happen of it when someone does test positive? I mean,
yeah, and that's why I think they've got to get their heads together. They've got to get, VADA, UCAD, all the guys have got to get together, structure it, and then make real. People have got to make real punishments. They've got to put out real sentences for this, and otherwise, the risk is always going to be worth it.
Now, Dave, some more upbeat news. You've teamed up with Lerone Richards, Sniper the Boss, an extremely talented fighter. Obviously, got a good clash coming up with UMAR Sadiq, where he defends his British title. How did this firstly come about? I'm guessing you spoke to Sam Jones quite a lot about this, Dave.
No, not really. Sam asked me a couple of months ago, something like that, and I was busy, or I can't remember what, but nothing happened from that. He went over to Vegas, did some training out there with Salas, and got some sparring out there and stuff. Came back, and then Sam asked me, he said, look, he wants to work with you. Would you be interested in giving him a go? Same sort of thing. I asked what his character's like, he's going to fit into my gym, is he going to, personality-wise, because the way that I work is very specific. The way that I want to spend my time, I value my time, and so I've got to really get on with somebody for me to put my time and energy into it. And I got on with him straight away. He's a really good kid. It reminds me, personality-wise, of how we get on in the gym of Jordan. When Jordan came to me, and he's very, very talented. He's very, very talented. So I'm excited to be working with him. He's a really nice kid, but he's a very, very talented kid. He's a good kid, and I don't believe you've not seen the best of him yet. I looked. The reason why I wasn't really at first jumping all over working with him when I got mentioned to me, it's the kind of thought, he looks like a lazy fighter. It's just, one paced, and he's content to be just keeping his nose in front. Is that going to excite me? Because I want fighters that are going to excite me. I want to, I've be involved in good fights, and I want the fans to be excited about the fights that are involved with TV, and I thought, is he going to be that kind of fighter? Sam assured me that he has got it in his locker. I had a good chat with him, told him what I expected, told him what my ambitions are, asked him what his ambitions were, and it matched up. And so we had a session. After the end of the session, knew straight away that we literally gelled day one. And this is our second or third week. Can't remember. Do you know what? It's flying by. So it clicked. Everything's clicked, and it's going really well. Really well.
I can tell that he's one of them fighters that will raise his game once the opponent steps up.
Definitely. And it's just about developing some gears with him. He soaks it up in a sponge. He is very much like when I dealt with, when Tony came to me. Tony's a sponge, and they listen to you and they take it on board, and how you explain things, and do you get that? Yep, get it. You understand it, so they want to do it more. It's not a case of like they're doing it because you tell them to do it. They're doing it because they understand what the benefits are. They understand how things can little manipulations can change, and so they want to do it, and so they've got their own drive, their own motivation to do something. And like I said, he's fit straight into the gym now, so it's great, really is.
So you got a busy schedule. Well, I'm not totally aware of what date Frank Warren set for Richard and Sadiq. I don't think it's been announced yet.
No.
But as I said, you got 1st of August with Jordan Gill, and some people saying now 50-50 fight, because Reece is very experienced. Jordan, obviously, he had his troubles last year. But you believe it's time for Jordan to redeem himself and get a good win over Bellotti?
100%. If I could turn back time, and if I could have known what was happening with Jordan on fight night, would I have pulled him out? Would I have not gone through what we've gone through? Do you know what? No. I'm glad he's gone through what it is. The fight itself happened. What happened in the fight itself was kind of like, I expected that kind of fight, tough fight. He's going to have to answer questions. He's going to be hurt. I expected that kind of fight, but I didn't expect him to get beat. But I didn't know what was going on. Ultimately, he got beat. Made the wrong decisions in the fight. Didn't do what he could do. Didn't do what I want him to. But that could have been all mentally because of how he was, what he'd got going on in his own mind. But although for a few months it was in a bad place for a few months, and mentally dealing with it, and for fear of being written off, and fear of being discarded by Matchroom and whatever, because he wasn't a Matchroom fighter built up and groomed. He got an opportunity, he taken an opportunity, and that is always different for the guys that are signed from day one, Team GBs, great prospects and amateurs and whatever, you turn pro with a promoter, built up. The guys that come through on the smaller shows and get an opportunity, it's always different. When they get beat, there is always that worry that they're not going to be brought back. Then obviously he got he got his illness, which ended up finishing him for a good 8 months or so. I didn't think he was going to fight again. Luckily came through that. But since he's come through that, the mentality of going through what he's gone through, the Tinoco loss, dealing with that, understanding it after a while, understanding that it's not the end of the world, understanding that you can grow from that. And the way that he's matured from that, with his illness, with all the setbacks, COVID knocking out his fight with 10 days to go, things like that. It just seems to have just mentally flicked a switch. It's just matured. It's matured so much, and for me, it's really exciting because he's always put too much pressure on himself in every sport. Everything has to be perfect. If it's not perfect, then he'll be pissed off with himself. He won't think about the 99% great shit he does. He'll just think about the 1%. That's gone now. He's understanding. He's recognizing what he's done wrong. Yeah, right. Okay, need to work on that. No problem. That's not changed, but he's not letting it weigh him down. And he's matured as a man, as a fighter. He's got married in the time that since his defeat and everything. Again, that mentally makes you grow up a little bit more. He just seems to have matured and grown up. And now I'm seeing a serious talent. I'm seeing, I've always said potentially is the best fighter that I've worked with, talent-wise, potentially. But now I'm seeing it now. I'm seeing what he's doing now. I've not had a fighter do what he's doing in sparring now. And he's a talent there. So, yes, on paper, it's a 50-50 fight. But if Jordan performs like I know he can and performs like he now knows he can, then, there's a winner right there. Reese is a very good fighter. Punches like fuck, really does. Good fighter, nice kid. Got nothing bad to say about the kid. He's had a couple of tough nights. That's boxing, but it's the same thing. Is he'll have learned from that as well. So he'll be a better fighter because his attitude, because of his team's attitude, that he's surrounded by good people, by knowledgeable people. So when a fighter does get beat, when you're surrounded by the right people, it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. That's when we say, you can learn from your defeats, come back a better fighter. It's when the fighter doesn't learn from it because the people around him haven't got that mentality. They haven't got, they don't know how to bring a fighter back and understand the loss. And himself isn't built that way. Reese is a determined kid. He can box, he can fight, he can punch. It's a dangerous fight. But I just now I'm seeing Jordan's mentality to match the ability, and he's improved loads over the last few months. He's improved loads. So now we're seeing that behind closed doors. Now we're seeing that. I'm a lot more confident in him showing me what he can do, and showing himself what he can do.
Well, it's exciting times for yourself. Obviously, you've got Richard Sadiq and Gil Bellotti. I'd make your fighters, Richards and Gil, the slight favourites in both, but they're both live fights, both domestic fights as well.
Live fight. Listen, Sadiq's a very good fighter, very good long-range fighter, very, very tricky and skillful, fast. That's a tricky fight, and especially it's first fight with a new coach and everything. It's a tricky fight. It really is.
Good win
really good
Cody
fight.
Davis.
Yeah, really good fight. Really good fight. Really tough fight. I can't speak highly enough of Sadiq. I think he's a very good fighter. It's going to be an interesting fight. It really is.
You're going to be spending a lot of time in the Stratford and Essex area then.
I know. Tell me about it. Especially with all this quarantine business as well on fight camps and stuff. Yeah, it is what it is. Listen, I'd rather do that than not have any dates for the fighters, and we sat there twiddling the thumbs. So I'm over the moon to be involved and like I said, to be back in boxing. I missed boxing being spoken about, being involved. Obviously, it's going to be different because we're not going to have crowds and stuff like that. But I'm just glad to be back, and then hopefully soon we start getting crowds back again, and we can get the buzz back and the atmospheres and the fans. That'd be great.
Definitely. All right, Dave. Best of luck with Lerone, Jordan, and Hope.
Cheers, man.
And
thanks, man.
Yeah, thanks for talking to IFL. I'm sure we'll catch up soon. All right.
Nice one, mate. Appreciate that.
Top man, Dave. Bye.